Be to yourself. Stay to yourself. Trust nobody. Trust nobody.
A lot of the older guys, and not much older sometimes, but heard King of the South, they got offended and they would try to co-op and say, what do you think about him calling himself king? I was like, if that's what he calls himself, then absolutely. I don't have a problem. I never wanted to be a king.
Yeah.
So I never understood everybody. No one else wanted to be until you created that.
Yeah.
And when you created it, there was pushback. What gave you the audacity to do it? And beyond what gave you the audacity to do it, do you feel like setting that marker propelled you towards success by saying, I gotta do it?
Let's see. Okay.
Because you proved yourself right.
I appreciate that. Okay, so first off, my next album is Kill the King. It will be my next and final album.
Wow.
And I think that two things happened. One, I made others aware that it was okay to say you were king.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because just in all honesty, we're all kings.
Absolutely.
Just those of us who believe it and those of us who don't.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I might have been the first to say it out loud. You know what I mean? I think, but and if that can plant the seed for others after me to now feel like they're king, that's exactly what prompted me to do it. KP and I were riding from Lenox Mall, actually on the way to Patchwork to record 2 Glock 9s with Beanie Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
2 Glock 9s with Beanie Siegel was my first big feature. The first time I was gonna be, rapping alongside an all-star in the game, if you will. And on the way to that session, KP and I were riding in this car. We were listening to Mystikal's album. I think he had just dropped Tarantula, if I ain't mistaken. On his album, he said he the Prince of the South. So I cut the music down. I say, well, if he's the prince, who's the king? You know, it was a rhetorical question. You know what I mean? I didn't really expect an answer. And then there was a beat of silence. And then KP and I both looked at each other and he said, you wouldn't. I say, well, yes, I will. And when we went to the studio, that's the first time I said I was King of the South. And oddly enough, I never really felt as strongly about it until people started telling me that I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And I always respected my predecessors, the people who came before me, opened the doors, blazed the trail for me to be able to do what I'm doing now. So what people don't know is I actually had sidebar discussions with all of the people who I had access to, who I respected, who I felt that should have a say in how, how I present myself, whether or not I presented myself as the King of the South. Nobody said no. Mm-hmm. I spoke to Andre, I spoke to Big Boy, I spoke to Cujo, Timo, Gip, CeeLo, I spoke to Bun B. Pimp C was away on mandatory vacation.
I'll talk about that.
But he proxied his thoughts through Bun. I spoke to Scarface, and no one seemed to have any. Now I will say I was cautioned. You know what I mean? I was cautioned by Big and Scarface. Scarface was like, man, I don't want to be king. Go ahead, you can have that. And Big said, well, now, if you're going to be king, just understand you're putting a target on your back. You're making yourself, susceptible to dispute and controversy. I don't think that's what he said. I don't think in those words, but that was
the target on your back. He did.
Yeah, he did say that. So, and I was with all that. I was like, but you don't have an issue though. I ain't worried about what nobody else how they feel. You have an issue? Cool. Me knowing they did not object or that they did not have any negative feelings or knee-jerk reactions to it, that gave me everything I needed to push through the rest of the industry. Because these are the only ones who should have something to say about it.
Yeah.
None of you guys in my class or in a class below there should even be speaking on it.
Yeah.
And so I just pushed with that, with that enthusiasm, and it brought me all the way here to today.